Hello, this video is the modern freedom coaching model. That is how you can make 20 to 50K months in your coaching business with zero sales calls, an offer that scales, and clients who come to you. So, who is this for and what do you want? Well, you want content that actually works. So, you want to post up, and wake up to, hey, I want to work with you. How can I pay you rather than freebie seekers who just want your lead magnet and then they ghost. You want freedom from the calendar, right? So, being able to choose how you spend your time, not having endless sales calls, coaching calls, team calls, but something that scales with your time. Scales your ideas and not your time. You want soulmate clients who don't need convincing. They are the clients who chase you rather than you chasing them. They are the perfect fit for what it is you do, both in terms of their problems, but in terms of their themselves, right? And actually the person that they are. You want to work less and earn more and enjoy it, right? So maybe 4 hours of work a day, the rest of the time to chill, go to the gym, spend time with the kids, whatever you enjoy doing in your free time. And of course, you want predictability, right? Leads every day, clients every week, renewals every month, a well oiled machine that is immune to the changes of the algorithm or any other updates. And of course, your own unpredictable life. And so, what really is modern freedom? What is that kind of keyword? What does it really mean? Well, freedom, I think, has been sold to you as a lie because most businesses, or most coaches, what they give you is a version of freedom that only includes three of these, right? Typically, financial, location, and time freedom is what most people promise. But for me, that's not true modern freedom. So, what is it? Financial freedom. Well, you can earn more money than you'll ever need to earn, and you actually have control over that income. Location freedom. You can work anywhere you choose to work. Time freedom. You have an empty calendar that you control, right? Rather than a calendar that controls you. But the two most important ones, mental freedom, right? You have peace of mind, minimal stress, a business that actually you enjoy, one that you want to wake up and work on rather than one that feels like an obligation. It's one that feels like a choice you make every day to work on it or not work on it. That is true mental freedom. Work freedom linked to that is you have fun, you have purpose, right? You have a simple business that is fun, easy to manage. And again, you enjoy the work you do and you actually have a reason and a purpose with the business. It's not just simply a way to make money. Your business is your life is your business. They are a reflection, a mirror of one another. And so, why trust me? Why listen to me? Well, I've helped my clients make over $5 million in over 40 different niches across every single continent of the world. Yes, that is true, apart from Antarctica. I've thrown a few quick client wins up on the screen. I think, the screenshots don't matter too much, but I think the point is to say that there are some very big names in the coaching space that you all know that I have coached and that also follow me, respect me, use my ways and so on. And so I've been here for quite a long time now compared to most. And so fair to say you can trust a lot of what I say. Now, for me, my journey goes back very briefly to 2020 when I started. Built a business to 75K months, scaled it up, but went through a lot of issues with sales calls, hiring a team, all of that jazz that I'm sure you have been going through yourself. And so I reset everything in 2024. I said, no more sales calls, one team member just to help with some content. That's it. Only selling to people who actively came to me. And the crazy thing is that it worked and it worked better than what I was doing before. I have a whole bunch of videos on my YouTube that explains more about that process. If you want to hear more about that, just go and watch them. But otherwise, I want to explain a bit more about the system I used to be able to make it work so well. And so I went from having a week packed with sales calls to, closing 50K in sales whilst I'm spending time playing golf or with my son or out and about, not stuck in front of this desk all day, every day. Question you have probably is, okay, well, how? How, Harry, did you do it? Well, that's where I introduce my system, Simplified Coach Blueprint. There's three main components to it. You have the market, the sell, and the delivery aspect. Market is, of course, the content strategy. I use something called sold content. The whole goal behind that is to attract pre-sold summit clients and repel the freebie seekers. You have then the sales process. I use something called a no-call engine. And essentially, that's just how can you close 2 to 10K offers with zero sales calls and with all of those clients coming to you instead of you having to actively chase and reach out to people. And then the delivery process, what's the actual offer that you build? Well, I use something called a universal offer. I'll explain that more later on, where you scale one offer that has multiple ways to sell and deliver it. So let's get into each. Let's start with the offer. Now, some people suggest one offer, right? Which sounds smart, it's simple, but until your audience has then heard the same offer many, many times and they stop buying, not because your offer is bad, but because they've just stopped listening to the same offer you've been doing over and over again. But multiple offers, well, maybe that's better. Sometimes, yes, but now you're juggling 4 programs, 6 funnels, all these different types of clients, and you're playing essentially business whack-a-mole. And so, yeah, maybe you scale a little bit, but at the cost of what? Right? Your peace, your energy, your time. And so you're stuck in one of two boats. You have either offer fatigue or offer confusion. And so, how do we fix that? Well, we fix it by switching from product to proximity. And that is where we introduce the concept of the universal offer. Universal offer is all about how can you take the thing that people care most about, which is access to you, right? Because people buy the coach before they buy the coaching. How can you take that and monetize the access that people get to you as opposed to the individual products or items you sell? And so for me, I structure it into 4 different types of offer, and there can be more, but 4 different types of offer that can take someone from stranger right way through to a client and to an advocate. And these 4 types of offer all coexist within the same core program, right? So the idea here is it's you build one offer once, and that one offer can be split up and kind of sold and marketed all in these different ways. You have a free version, people raise their hand, they get a taste. You have an impulse version, which basically is a low risk, affordable, something that someone can buy. They binge it and they buy. You have your core program, that's your complete transformation, your main program people join. Then you have your renewal aspects. When people finish that main program, what happens next? How do they renew? How do they retain inside that same program? That's the kind of core idea of the universal offer, right? And so what it allows you to do is to maximize the sellability, if that's even a word, and the scalability at the same time. Now, a bit more on the how side of that. Well, imagine it like a chameleon, right? A chameleon can change its color, it can change how it looks depending on its goal, right? So whether it's trying to attract a mate, it's trying to camouflage, scare off a predator, it can do, achieve all of those different goals by simply changing its color, right? But one thing remains the same: the chameleon is still a chameleon, right? It doesn't grow extra arms, extra legs, or become a completely different animal. It's the same animal. It just simply changes how it presents itself dependent on the goal that it has in front of it. That's the same principle behind the universal offer. And so you can sell every day without repeating yourself. You can diversify your marketing without diluting your message. You can create more results with the same or less input. You can retain clients for longer without coaching all day. You can maximize your lifetime value without building new offers all the time. And you can get all of the benefits of multiple offers, but with the simplicity of one. Yes, it really is that good. And so one of my clients, Lizzie, she implemented this system and she went from having a successful offline business, very successful offline business, which was making lots of money, getting lots of results with her dog training clients. Online, she was only making about 1K per month, but she had a big audience, 60,000 followers. And just by simply implementing the universal offer system, and of course, some other few things that I'll cover later on, she went from 1K to 12K months within a space of about 3 or 4 months. That is the power of the universal offer. Now we move on to the market aspect. Now you've been told you have to sell to pain, sell to problems, sell to promise, all of the things on the screen. You can pause and read if you want to, but there's many things you've been told you have to do with your content to attract clients. But all of this, it speaks to lack, right? It speaks to the brain, and I call it brain content. And brain content, it just attracts the wrong type of people, right? The wrong type of followers, the people that are freebie seekers, who are slow to buy, quick to take the free stuff, but are very slow to buy the paid stuff. And so naturally, you think that your current audience isn't big enough, right? Or that you don't have enough of your dream ideal client in your existing audience. So what do? Well, you create growth content to try and grow the audience, but then that just leaves you in a friend zone with people. You make nurture content trying to convince people, but these people actually would never buy anyway. Or you try and make more sales content, and then what happens there? Well, maybe you get a slight boost, but then your engagement drops, visibility drops, and so you stop attracting new people into your world. That's where soul content comes into play. Right, you can see the comparison here: brain content versus soul content. Brain content is all about promises, value, outcomes, problem solving, selling a result. Soul content, it does one thing and one thing only. It creates a shift, because a shift is what creates action. A shift is what takes someone from simply watching your content to wanting to buy from you. A shift in belief, a shift in understanding, a shift in thinking, not around what their problem is, but a shift in a thinking around what the solution is or what it can be. That's what soul content does. And so for me, it's what has turned my DMs from years ago from being, what free stuff do you have, Harry, into I've just bought your main program within 24 hours, right? Or I found your page and now it's speaking to me. Or at midnight on the Thursday, you're the person I want to work with. That is the power of soul content. And again, it's not just me, but my clients as well. Melissa, for example, digital product coach, she added an extra $22,000 to her business per month with the introduction of soul content, right? So no more offers, no more, sales calls or extra selling, no more additional ads. All she simply done was refine her content, refine her messaging, her position in the content strategy, all within the soul content framework. And like that, within a couple of months, she had added an extra $22,000 to her business, and it continues to grow because soul content doesn't just work once, and it doesn't just work on Instagram. It works multiple times, and it works, sorry, not multiple times, it works always, and it works across anywhere you are posting content, any marketing materials you're using. Soul content principles can be applied to it. And so let's move on to the final part of the system, which is, of course, the sales process. Now, you're told to build a funnel, yet the funnel as we know it is dying. Now, it's not because funnels don't work, of course they do, but because the market has changed, right? The best type of clients, the premium clients that you want, they've seen it all before, right? They've seen the funnel, they've seen the upsells, the countdown timers, the disappearing offers that are still there the day after. They've seen it all, they've been there, they've done it, right? And so your dream client, your soulmate client, they don't need to go through a 20-step funnel that takes 3 months with the urgency to scarcity to buy from you. Because here's the thing, the problem here is that your typical funnel, it's leaky, right? And so you lose a lot of leads because it forces your leads down this one singular linear pathway that not everyone actually follows, right? Because we have to remember that our leads are humans. They have other things going on in life. They have distractions. They have um, pains and symptoms that come and go, and motivation that dies and fades. And then one day it's high, one day it's low. All of these things are changing all the time. And so the idea you can take someone into your funnel to take them through that funnel perfectly as it's designed from point A to point B is delusional, right? Maybe it used to work and maybe it still does in some cases, but it is inefficient. It means you are losing a hell of a lot of potential clients and leads because of how inefficient it actually is. And reality with, what people need to be sold on really just comes down to three things. They need to be sold on you, your mechanisms, and your offer. And as long as your sales engine does that and it sells them on those three things, it gets them ready to buy. And that timeline doesn't need to be 3 months. It can be a day, it could be a few hours, or it could also be a few months. But the point is, it doesn't need to be a funnel, right? Because the difference between a funnel and an engine is a funnel is designed to create demand, right? It's designed to take someone from completely unaware to fully aware and wanting to buy your thing. An engine doesn't work like that. An engine is designed to capture demand where it happens, where it occurs. And so we are marketing to a different type of person. We are selling in a different way. We are not trying to take someone who has never heard of us and doesn't know anything about what we do and needs to be convinced on the stuff we sell and convince them. We are taking people that are already convinced on what we sell. They're already looking to buy something. They're actively looking for a solution. We bring them into our system. We design it in such a way that whether they're ready now, tomorrow, in a month, 5 months' time, it doesn't matter. We can still convert them. That is the beauty of an engine, right? For me, I had a client recently who joined, and it was after they saved one of my posts months ago. I had another client who joined, they binged and joined within 24 hours, right? And so the engine caught them. The engine is why they purchased a funnel, or the funnel would have lost them. And so that's where we introduced a no-call engine. Really, it works off simple principle where we have four key kind of components to make up the engine, and really just a handful of activities you have to do to keep that engine going, right? Think of a car engine, the engine just needs a few inputs to keep the engine running, right? You need to press the throttle to put fuel in. You have to, put down the clutch to change the gear. You have to turn the steering wheel. You have to press the brakes. There's 3 or 4 things you have to do to keep that engine running at all times. The same idea with this sales engine online. There are a handful of activities. Number one, sold content, right? You have to post your content. Now you can do it daily. You can do it manually. Do it, through automations. I don't care, right? As long as it's sold content, you attract soulmates. That's all that matters. That's the first activity to do. The second activity is to make a daily offer. Daily offer, pretty simple. It just simply means you are getting people to raise their hand, interact, or to want to consume something that you have, right? All that simply does is it pushes them further into your ecosystem, further into your world of assets and materials that you've built. And when you design those assets the right way, they do the selling for you, which is what leads us on to your conversion assets. These are the assets I'm referring to. Conversion assets, again, can be many things. For example, this video is a conversion asset, right? There are other videos, other things that I produce online, which are also conversion assets. And so you post content every day, you make an offer every day, you get people to see your conversion assets every day. And then the final step is that once those assets drive leads into your DMs, what do? We send them our offer on a very simple offer doc, a Notion page, a Google Doc, a landing page. It doesn't really matter. Again, it doesn't matter what it's on. The point is, at this stage of the cycle, they are already pre-sold. And that's the beauty of the engine approach. Because look, relying on a linear funnel probably looks something like this, right? You need thousands of leads just to convert a few of them. You need lots of steps in your funnel, automations, email sequences, the hype, the countdowns, the scarcity. It just gets tiring at the end of the day, doing all of this all the time. And I know that you've probably been trying to sell to people who, quite frankly, don't want to be sold to, right? And I'm sure you understand what that feeling is like. They're trying to get off the call, they've got objection after objection, and you're trying to convince people on why they should care about the thing you sell. And in reality, they're just the wrong people. The engine fixes that. And so with the engine, what do we get? Predictable daily leads. No matter where someone is in their buying cycle, they can have a choice and a reason to reach out today. They haven't got to wait for a countdown. They haven't got to wait for a funnel to finish or an automation to finish sending. They want to buy from you today, they can. If they want to buy from you tomorrow, they also can. There are always chances to generate leads with the engine. But more importantly, these leads are pre-sold, right? We're not sending them through a funnel that has just a few things on there. They are constantly seeing our material, our content, our conversion assets. They are seeing us that we are top of mind all the time, and we are marketing, we are ethically brainwashing them daily to get them up to date and aligned with the way we do things. Now, no sales calls needed. If you don't want to do sales calls, you don't have to with this approach, but you also can if you want to. No closers, no appointment setters. I got rid of mine and never looked back. Less conversation with unqualified leads, right? So you're not chatting with people who are never going to buy or don't want to buy. You're only chatting with people who are serious and actually qualified for the thing you do, and they have intent. It's attraction-based sales. Basically just means you get higher quality leads, higher quality clients, but also it's very adaptable. A funnel is like a cruise ship. It takes a hell of a long time to fix the funnel, to turn it around, to change the entire system. An engine is like a jet ski. You want to make a change, you can do it instantly, right? It's very adaptable, very flexible. And so another quick example, Alejandro, a pre-med coach based in the US, he joined, he implemented this system again from us, from SEB. And again, his results were insane. He went from 8K to 35K months within the space of about, again, 3 or 4 months. As you know, it's between 2 or 3 months. And all of that because we changed the way he sold. He ditched the sales calls, he ditched the chasing, he implemented his system, he built out the content, built out the daily offer system, built out the conversion assets, built out his offer doc. And like that, he was suddenly attracting ideal Summit clients, pre-sold, inbound, coming to him on repeat just by doing that alone. And so, good thing about this is it doesn't require you to, build a funnel that's going to take you 20,000 years to do. It doesn't require you to run $1,000 in ads. You already have everything you need to be able to do this, right? You've got the authority, you've got the audience, you've got maybe leads already. And the thing about Alejandro is he thought he had to build more of an audience to make this work. He didn't. Again, him and you already have the audience, but they're not responding because of how you're currently doing things. And so, inside my program SCB, there's a bunch of systems beyond the ones I've shown here today, frameworks, custom GPTs, you name it, that can help you add an extra 10, 50K per month to your business and move you towards, as I call it, modern freedom, or at least your version of it. And so, look, very simple. If you want some more information on how you can work with me to install these systems or one of these systems or all of those systems, just DM me the word blueprint over on Instagram. It's not automated. I will personally respond. So you might have to give me a little bit of time. I'll respond, ask you a few quick questions, just make sure you're definitely a good fit for exactly what we do. And we can chat a bit more about obviously what it looks like inside SCB and the type of results we may be able to help you to get. Otherwise, if you're not sure on anything, you want to dive a bit deeper, I've got tons of other videos around somewhere, YouTube or Instagram. Just go and watch those. And then when you're ready, just message me this word so I know you're ready and we can have a conversation. Otherwise, appreciate your time. Have a nice day.